Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video, I want to highlight a game I played against Sion, the winner of the Mag 1 Open season, so very powerful opponent, and I decided to play some Rhino Tower Tag. This is something that hasn't been as popular in the last, I want to even say like 1.5 years. It used to be very popular back when Mechabellum went in open beta, but ever since, Rhinos kind of got nerfed in this like hyper aggressive style. Really doesn't see too much play, but I give it my best shot in this particular game. Now I start with Elite Spec, of course my favorite specialist to play, and I start with Sledges and Hounds. Hounds, by the way, have felt very strong as of late. I think a combination of people getting, well, kind of learning how the unit works, and also its counterpart at 100 cost, the Arclight, getting nerfed again and again, means that right now I feel like this is everything that you see on ladder. Just Hounds leveling every single turn, and then people clicking range and mech rage. It has felt very strong indeed. Now, whether or not we'll be able to go for that here, we'll have to see. Of course, I start with level 1 Hounds, and well, I do want to add some other chaff to the board, so I decided to go for some crawlers. We're playing asymmetrically here. Opponent Sion is a quick supply specialist and decides to sell one of his steel balls. So already here I'm starting to think, oh god, what on earth am I going to be facing here on round 2? Because he's gonna have what, 400, he got 100 this turn, 500, and then he's gonna have 200 more from his quick supply, 700, and then if he sells the steel ball, that makes for 900 resources next turn. Yeah, that is quite a scary prospect. I was thinking, oh, maybe he's going to try and like go Abyss round 2, but he's 100 short for being able to do that. So yeah, I wasn't quite sure here what to expect, but it's going to be something much more reasonable than that. Don't worry. Round 2 here, mass-produced Sabertooth I actually did consider for a bit, because it's something I've wanted to try on Elite Spec. Of course, the side armaments do scale with levels, and well, if you can get some very cheap sabers on the board, maybe that is a playable thing on Elite. I don't know, probably it's meme, but I did consider it for a bit, which is why you'll see me stay on the selection screen for a while. Eventually I will decide that no, maybe it's better to do something else, and I'll just be setting up my board in a normal fashion. Opponent here, you can already see, sold his steel ball and instead decides to go for more chaff and a Vulcan on round 2. Much more tame than me thinking about Titans, I know. And this is a little bit scary to face. Of course, I am feeding elite chaff experience into the Vulcan, and most of these units should be very good for the Vulcan to face. Now, I decide to kind of go wide in this scenario, trying to pressure the other tower and also trying to preempt a potential crawler here on the line. Actually, Sion did consider it for a while. Oh, I think, well, it's on the other flank this time. But I have some level 2 crawlers coming over, so I should at least be able to defend this for a little bit. I've also been a little bit sick the past week, so apologies if I sound a little bit different than usual. Looks like we'll be just fine. The tower debuff here will definitely help. As you can see, most of my chaff and my hounds there did end up burning to the Vulcan, but lucky for us, it's not quite a disaster, and we will be picking up round 2 here as well. Crawler flank into Elite. I mean, I guess it does give him a debuff here, but I'll be able to easily deal with that by simply putting a level 2 crawler in front of it. As long as this crawler doesn't level, which luckily for me it doesn't. Now round number 3, no unit drops just yet, but man, look at these items. Portable shield, improved firepower control system, and laser sight are all just insane, really, for something like a Vulcan. And Sion here deciding to go for the improved firepower control system, goes for another Vulcan, and I decide to go for the portable shield. And yeah, here we go. The level 2 Rhino on Elite has been purchased, and of course portable shield is a lovely item for this particular unit as well. And I'm just going to say, well, if you want to try and Vulcan carry, you're going to be behind in deployments for DPS. And so this Rhino should just be able to survive. I also do run armor, so that could be a pickup down the line. Crawlers on the side did defend. Another Vulcan on the right side will be burning up the rest of my units. And now we can just see the Rhino chop it away. And winning the round. I will say, I was very afraid here of opponents going for Phoenixes. And I was very glad to see that instead he went for a marksman. Because obviously, I don't have any anti-air here. And I am taking a bit of a risk. But it pays off. And so now, I mean, when we look at the hit points, already down to 2k by round 4, I don't need to win many more rounds, I feel like, to close this out. And with the unit drops here showing up, Scorpion, Typhoon, Saber, and Fire Badger, I think, okay, what is going to give me the best chance of closing this out fast? Because obviously, the comp I'm building and what I have on the board right now really won't be able to contest whatever is going on the other side. Early Giants, I can see now Melter Vulcan being set up. This is just going to be an absolute nightmare for me to play into with the lines that I've chosen. So how do I close things out as fast as possible? Well, I was thinking maybe I can go Scorpion and sell and like try to invest more into Rhino, but eventually I'll just decide, you know what, let's go for Typhoon. That's pretty good into these forward fangs, and hopefully I can just chaff clear as fast as possible and try to get my Rhinos in. Opponent Scorpion does sell one of them, and well, you can already see here left side looking quite scary. And I will just be picking up the Typhoons. And I do actually sell one of them to make a little bit of money, because I do want to go for some other things here. Phoenix is picked up because I don't want to lose to anti-air. I, you know, pushed my luck last round, but we do need to have at least something that can shoot up. And the Phoenixes should be good DPS as well into the Giants. And yeah, Typhoon here just going to be on the line. I really don't care about things like missiles. I just am playing for pure tempo. Now, Rhino here does get locked on. I will say it tanks for a fair amount of time, and with the Phoenixes now locked into the Vulcan, maybe we can just get in. The damage doesn't seem bad at all. The Rhino on the right side with the armor doing just fine. This Scorpion really not equipped to deal with it. And as the debuff comes through, it looks like my Rhino will survive. That is lovely, because it's another 200 damage. And suddenly, Scion now sitting down at 700 hit points as we enter round number 5. And I'm feeling very confident with advanced power system showing up. More speed, potentially, to just run in faster. Although I think to myself, there is a Rhino assault here too. And I was thinking, with these high-level Rhinos, what about Final Blitz? This has a pretty big explosion radius of almost 50 meters. And it can also hit the towers if you get close enough. So what if I just try to kind of run the Rhino in between the Giants, wedge it in there, and then try to explode it, get the tower, and maybe we can finish this game in just 5. So instead of going for the speed, I end up going for the Rhino, and I try to kind of pincer in here as I set up for the Rhino boom. I will also be picking up some missile interceptors, because I do not want these Rhinos to get slowed down. And yeah, here you can see Final Blitz being picked up. And this is expensive. I'm loaning, of course. I am clicking temp speed. I am playing for an end. Either this round or the next. And I don't want this to go to round 7. I'm basically saying, if you can defend this for another turn or two, I will take the loss. And if not, well, I will happily take the win. I'm also using some missiles to try and get rid of the chaff. Again, get this as close to the tower as possible. Opponent here has leveled up the Vulcan, clicked range, and intensive trained it up to level 3, which is quite something. But there you go, Rhino boom. Okay, the Vulcan is gone, and the Melter really isn't all that good into the chaff, so getting overwhelmed now. Left side, though, burning. That oil doing a lot of work, and though it looks like I might be winning, the Phoenixes are still alive, the Melter has gone down. I don't think that's going to add up to 700 hit points. So Scion here will be surviving, and I kind of showed him my trump card, right? I've already shown him now that I want to try and play tower tag and get the Rhinos in as fast as possible. So will he be able to respond? And round number 6, we get a bunch of unit drops as well. Now, Sabertooth here could be something that we go for, but it's a little bit expensive. And instead I go for the Farseer because it sells for the most. Maybe Sandworm was an idea too, but I just really didn't feel it. An opponent here picks up the Farseer. It is a very cheap source of EMP, so yeah, goes for the EMP Farseer. I was kind of expecting this during the game, and now I'm just playing for the end. And I go for another play here. Charge Shot Phoenix. I don't need the range. Everything else is unranged, so it should just stay in front of my Phoenixes. And yeah, I'm just trying to find whatever deals the most damage, the fastest, to try and close this out for a final Hail Mary play. I did sell a Sledgehammer there, since it was kind of burning. Maybe I should have sold the Farseer though, but I guess this is just safe to have on the right side, and it honestly does pack a punch at level 3. And here I go for a diagonal play on this Rhino, because I noticed there isn't too much chaff to stop the Rhino, and if I can somehow manage to get it basically to attack the Melter, even if it dies, it should get both the tower and hit all 3 giants. So let's see how this works out. More Phoenixes picked up, 2 of those. And the Farseer in the middle. I did have a missile back here in case of an air cheese, so should be completely fine. And let's see how this goes. Melter will lock onto the Typhoon first, so this Rhino here will get in. Was EMP'd, of course, but the Farseer is on the wrong side. And look at this. Rhino inside of the shield. Massive boom. Gets the tower, gets the Melter and the Vulcan. And I think with that, we might have just done it. Right side Rhino wasn't as successful, but I only needed the 1, and those Charge Shot Phoenixes will be plenty powerful to deal with the remaining giants. And so we close out this game after 6 rounds on full hit points. And luckily for me, it ends here, because I think if this goes any longer, well, I'm not going to be able to pull this off many more times, and I will definitely get outscaled. But it was a fun one. I think this type of ultra aggressive gameplay where, I mean, everything's on the line. My units are unleveled, or at least unteched for the most part. There's no range. I'm just loaning round 5, round 6 to get in as fast as possible, are not that common. And I mean, it makes sense, right? I think it's very, very high risk. And you have to play this to near perfection as the aggro player, because if you falter, then obviously you stand no chance in the late game. But yeah, it's nice to see Rhinos make a bit of a return in this fashion. I've been playing around with them a bit more, and it's been quite a lot of fun. So yeah, let me know down below what you think. Do you like this playstyle? Do you hate it? What do you think about Rhino? Let me know. If you want to stay up to date with latest content, please consider subscribing, and check me out on Twitch if you want to see me play live. With that being said, take care guys, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.